Hi everyone. So I know I haven't done a video in a while. So I figured I'd come on and give you guys an update. So today is July 1st and a lot has happened. So today I actually buried one of my aunts today, which was a very hard day to do. It's been an emotional week. It's been so much has gone on. So I was sitting here in the house by myself, and I figured I haven't updated anybody about anything in over almost a month. I think it's been almost a month. So I am currently still pregnant. I am 17 weeks and 1 day. So when we found out everything about our baby and the Hydrops and the cystic hygromas, we felt like the place we went to didn't give us, we left with more questions than anything. And then the fact that they weren't going to do any follow-ups to see how she progressed was not settling well with me and Josh at all. I mean, we found out on our 13-week ultrasound that she had all these issues, and then they told us there's nothing they can do pretty much until I'm 16 weeks to have an amniocentesis. So we were just like, you're not going to monitor her. You're not going to do nothing. Like we just have to wait 3 weeks to, it just blew our minds. And so at that point we decided to get a second opinion, to see if there's someone else says something different, because pretty much he just left it as, or how I felt he left it as, that we're just waiting for her heart to stop. And then that will be that. And we couldn't accept that answer. So I got on the phone the next day. Well, it was actually not the next day, because we found out on a Friday afternoon what was going on with her. And so I had to wait till that Monday morning. So the Monday morning I had called the Boston Children's Hospital, where they have the fetal, the fetal care unit inside the Boston Children's Hospital. Now, they always say in my area where I live, Boston is the place to go when there's something serious that's wrong. So we called them. They said as soon as I can get my records over to them, they will call us for a consultation and admission to get us an appointment to come in right away. So I got right on the phone with the place that we were referred to, our fetal care place here in Rhode Island, and they refused to give me my records, send my records over. They said that there's a 30-day turnaround time. I said, that is ridiculous. Like, this is my child's life, and you're telling me I have to wait 30 days to get it over to Boston so I can get a second opinion? Like, that, it didn't settle right with me. Like, I was so upset. All because I didn't sign a release when I came there. And I said, I can sign a release now. I can physically come in there and sign a release. They're like, she kind of laughed at me and said, good luck trying to get in. Like, it was so disrespectful. Like, I don't ever want to go to that place again, because trying to get my medical records was ridiculous, and shouldn't take no 30 days. She's like, she said that the turnaround is 30 days. It could only take a couple weeks. She goes, but it could take 30 days. So that's why I had to say that. Well, that's not acceptable. So then I called my OB to see if any of the medical records because they did the first ultrasound that said that there was something wrong with her, and we had to get the second opinion with a more in-depth ultrasound. So sure enough, the lady was super nice on the phone, and come to find out, they actually had all my records from this other place that did the in-depth ultrasound. So, because I told her what had happened when I tried to get my records, and she goes, that's ridiculous. She goes, don't worry. She goes, we have all those She goes, I will send that everything over right now. So she literally sent it over right after I got the phone with her. Like, I love my OB's office and I love my OB. I mean, my OB even gave me her personal cell phone number for any time that I need to call her about anything, or if I just want to talk to her. Like, what doctors do that? Like, so I really do love my OB, and I'm happy I have who I have, because doctors are very hard to find. Good doctors are very hard to find, and I've been so blessed with my team that I chose, and I just, let me just tell you that. So my OB office, they sent everything over. So literally the next day they called and got some more information from me, and then told me that somebody will be calling me in the next 24 hours to schedule the appointment. So I had the intake phone call, and then after that intake phone call, they said somebody will actually call me to schedule the appointments. So literally the next day after that, so it was like a Wednesday, the lady called and she scheduled me for ultrasound, a fetal MRI, and scheduled a doctor's appointments at the same time. So I had like all these appointments. I was gonna be in Boston all day. I had like, originally I had 6 appointments because they wanted to do a fetal echo too, but then I guess the cardiologist said that I'm too early, that they can't do a fetal echo on me yet. So that was canceled, which was fine, but they still did way more than the place that I went to. So anyways, so we went there. So we ended up having that appointment on June 16th, which was like they fit me in within that week. They got me in within that week of me calling. So I was, at that point, I was 15 weeks. So Josh couldn't come with me, so my mom came with me, and I'm just happy I didn't go alone. So it was a very long day, you guys. A lot of miscommunication happened. I ended up coming back home just to go back to Boston. It was a big mess. But we didn't get good news. We didn't get better news. I mean, if anything, we got worse news. So we knew about her hygromas around her neck and the one on her back. And we also knew she had fluid around her lungs, which is what we found out on 13 weeks. So now this is 2 weeks later. This is 15 weeks at this point. And they told us that now she has edema around her outer shell. So which is fluid now collecting around her whole body, on the skin of her body. And the fluid in her lungs are now filling up her chest cavity as well. She also has fluid in her bladder as well, and very low amniotic fluid. So she did draw me a picture, because I didn't get to see any of these images. So she did draw me a picture. I will try and find it, because I have things everywhere right now, you guys. I've been through so much. And I'll try and attach it to this video so you can see. She drew a really good picture. All the green that she highlighted is all the fluid in baby girl. So not only did she get worse, but now there's no amniotic fluid, very little amniotic fluid around her. And the way it was explained to me was she's taking everything in through her umbilical cord, but she's supposed to be recycling it through her body, through her blood system, and out as it's like peeing it out. And that's what creates the amniotic fluid. And apparently she's not doing that. So which means my placenta is only producing so much amniotic fluid. She is supposed to, at this stage, now that I'm in my second trimester, she is supposed to be producing all the amniotic fluid throughout the rest of the pregnancy by cycling out what she takes in from the umbilical cord. So instead of her filtering it out through her urine, she is taking it in and it's going within her skin and in her chest cavity. So at that point, they gave her 2 weeks. They said she has a 1% chance of survival at this point. She was measuring exactly on time. She was measuring to the day, which she usually has never done, but this time she was measuring to the day. Her heart was very strong. It was 167, which has been very consistent. So they said they couldn't wait to do an amniocentesis because if they waited any longer, there might not be anything to get. So they scheduled my amnio 2 days later on that Friday when my husband could come. So we went and had our amniocentesis. And they actually had to do it twice, which was very, very painful. I actually had some contractions after the amnio because I guess your uterus contracts. Anyways, so they thought the best place to take her fluid from and get possible more cells was through her cystic hygroma in her neck. So that's what they attempted to do first. So they did that, and because it's septated, which means there's like different little cells combined to making one big cell, they weren't able to get more without stabbing her like 20 times on that one hygroma because they're septated, so they're separated into like their own cell pockets. So she was worried that she didn't get enough fluid to run a test. So they had to wait a little bit for my uterus to stop contracting. So it didn't stop. So they had to move to a different part of my uterus that wasn't contracting as much. Because if my stomach's contracting, then they can't get the needle through my uterus. So they went on the opposite end, where her feet is, I believe. And they took out like 3 vials of fluid, of amniotic fluid. And Josh and I was just like, you're just taking everything from her that she has. Like, it's like you're leaving her with nothing. You know, she's not producing anything. And we were just so upset. Like, we were just like, I can't believe this is happening right now. So they kept on saying, oh, there's nothing to worry about. She should be producing it. But clearly, she's not. Clearly. And they said she really has no chance at this point, and we're doing it pretty much to get answers. So that was devastating. Like, that was just, I don't know. We were just so heartbroken when we left there, and then I had some really bad contractions, and it was a long night that day. Like the next couple of days was very, very rough for us. Well, mostly for me. They said I would be bleeding and stuff, but I didn't experience any bleeding. So, which is good, I guess. So then I texted my doctor, and I kind of told her what happened at Boston, and we did the amnio, a week early because of the fact that they were worried that we weren't going to have anything to get. And by the way, I'm still waiting on the results of that as well. So at that point, my doctor decided, because I was concerned that my next ultrasound wasn't until I was 21 weeks for the anatomy scan, which at this point, the anatomy scan is like the least thing from my mind. Like, I don't care about the anatomy scan. Like, I need to make sure that she's okay. I don't want to go a month with her heart stopped inside of me. Like, I can't handle that. If I find out that here I am 21 weeks, but her heart stopped at 16 weeks, because sometimes our bodies don't do what it's supposed to, and I won't go into labor. and it would be what they considered a missed miscarriage. Like, I don't want to go through that. So I want to know, like, I need to know. So my doctor ended up scheduling me an ultrasound for peace of mind. And that just came up on Tuesday, the 29th. So her heart dropped a little bit. It's at 147 now. You can barely see her in the ultrasound because there's no fluid to identify what's her. I mean, the techs know what's her because they're trained to do that. I mean, I don't get no more ultrasound pictures because you just can't make her out on an ultrasound photo. I do know that as of Tuesday, she is measuring almost a week and a half behind due to lack of amniotic fluid. And the tech said it's not really precise because of the lack of amniotic fluid, they can't measure her head to her rump. And that's what they get the accurate measurement. So they have to measure her head, her femur, her stomach, and that's, trying to get a rough estimate about how she's measuring, as she's producing and going along. So with that, she's an average about a week and a half behind through those measurements. But the tech said that might not be true because that's not accurate. So the doctor came in and decided, due to everything, it's best that I come in for a weekly fetal heart check. So they asked about if I just come in instead of ultrasounds, if I just come in and do a Doppler check. And I said they no longer can find her on a Doppler because we actually had a scare a couple days prior when we went to the hospital, which is another story for itself. And they couldn't find her on the Doppler. And the lady said, "I'm so sorry. Like, we'll confirm with ultrasound." And the ultrasound tech was able to find it. So that she no longer can be found on a Doppler. So now we do have to have ultrasounds. And so now my next ultrasound is tomorrow, which is Friday. So which really isn't even a week. So I just pray that she's okay. I mean, at this point, I don't know what to pray for. I mean, I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be optimistic that her body's going to start doing what it needs to do and produce what she needs to produce and just get better. With time, she has time on her hands right now. But I'm so scared every time I go to the doctors. Is this the day? Is this the day? It has been like the longest month, and it's so hard. And I'm really just trying to get through every day. I'm currently out of work because I can't handle life. I'm so worried about the life growing inside of me that I can't function every day. It is so hard to do what you need to do knowing what is going on inside your body. And there's nothing you could do to stop it. And it's gonna happen no matter what. Because that's what everybody's telling you. I'm just trying to hold it together. But I am scared out of my mind. I'm scared what she's gonna look like when she's born. I'm scared of going through the labor and not having a baby at the end. I'm scared how my husband's going to feel and how he's going to be. And Johanna, how she's going to handle it, because she's not handling the bad news at all. But she's being hopeful, because the baby girl is still hanging on. She's still here. And it's been a month after we got a bad prognosis, whatever. So I'm just at the point where I don't know what I'm hoping for anymore. And that's an awful, awful feeling. So we will see what happens. I got everybody praying for me and praying for her. And no one knows. No one knows what's going to happen. And there's just so much unknown right now. And it's just tearing me down. I wanted her so bad. And I just feel like I'm just... I don't even know, to be honest. Like, I'm just so numb, and some days are good, some days are bad. So I guess the only hope we have now is trying to get answers on what's wrong. And I have a feeling we're going to get answers after she's already gone. But I'm not going to keep going on. I just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on, because it has been a month, and I know some of you are been with me since the beginning. So I wanted to keep you guys in the loop. This is a very hard time, and it's very hard to pick up the camera and record. So that's that, you guys. So I don't know when I'm going to record again. I don't know when the next update will be or what it will be. I pray that it's a positive one. But we probably all know it's not going to be. Until next time, you guys. Thanks for all the support.